In this episode, we'll talk about Apex and the current price of Bitcoin. Apex is releasing a lot of bullish news, including the announcement of numerous partnerships and deals, which surprised me. We will also discuss the levels that we need to maintain for Apex. To be honest with you, I think I have everything covered, but after that, we can speak. Concerning BRICS, the Indian Rupee, and XRPL will power everything. I'm going to show you just a little bit until you see this graphic, so settle in, take a seat, and let's get started. In the last 24 hours, Bitcoin has dropped 76% to $3,484, down 1.83%. Both USDT and USDC have remained at their dollar pegs, and XRP has learned that someone named Flip at 48 cents hasn't actually changed either. Considerably, just the last day, it has increased by 65%. Total market value of cryptocurrencies, $2 trillion, 485 billion. What is it that we're observing? Dr. Profit stated it clearly, the goal is to drop into the $66,000 range if there is a chance to do so. If the markets were going to permit it, that would be the zone. The markets permitted it. All I see is plain, and you had a chance. Sky from this location, people, and this is it possible for us to briefly float in this range and go back to 66 when we return to the top? That is absolutely possible. I sincerely believe that this is the bottom of that range and that momentum will continue to go higher when the markets open back up and money starts to flow again. For everyone who hasn't been paying attention to Bitcoin or is losing out because, well, they're just too busy with their personal lives, 74K is the magical number. Cryptocurrency has not yet been launched on a Tier 1 exchange. You will be staking for it, so it will be as if you are purchasing it at a pre-sale price. Okay, so you get it. I'm not interested in staking for nothing. Term it pre-sale, yet the item is yours before if you don't want to stake. The majority of people will be able to purchase it from the 90s cartoon remix. I'm thrilled about this partnership with Ripple, so please let me know whether you can still get XRP'd back on those Brad Garlinghouses. The real world of these arch-ex financial institutions is becoming more tokenized. Assets on Layer 1, such as the XRP ledger, and regulated companies like ARXs, and I see exponential growth in all of these areas. Here's a link to view them in the future. On stage at Swell, I am currently speaking about the tokenization of real-world assets. Do you believe they will use the XRP ledger? Why do you think they are? Well, folks. Do you believe they get a free pass to advertise their project without using the XRP ledger? Who do they represent? The first cryptocurrency exchange in the UK to be registered using the British pound and other cryptocurrencies, including Ethereum and Bitcoin. Examine it. How are you doing? If we can exchange, what is right, in your opinion? A large splat in the center resembles the former Twitter logo. It's a sort of ramp XRP. We are aware of all the work Ripple has been conducting in the UK as well as the trials they have conducted. 5 years ago with the Bank of England, and now at this stage. And now the first ever registered cryptocurrency exchange is appearing in the UK. As you can see, the markets are changing, and I can assure you that every exchange you see will either be acquired or go out of business. In the US, this has already happened, forcing the majority of exchanges to close and leave the nation. At this point, there are only really two. Coinbase and Gemini. Yes, you can say that we have Uphold and Binance, but even though they forced them to shut down the ability to transfer physical cash, you can only trade cryptocurrency assets. What they're really doing, though, is preparing this for an institutional takeover. They know where the money is going to be made, and that's through these exchanges. Right, so people come in, take a portion of your money from trading, and they're going to take over this space. Next, we have David Schwartz speaking at Apex regarding the automated market maker lending protocols. Dispersed identity databases, the XRP ledger EVM chain, and the multipurpose token. Watch this little video to learn more about the actual USD Ripple stablecoin that was recently announced. Don't miss the overview of the stablecoin. Many individuals believe that because they own stable currency, they won't need to use XRP, but this is untrue because the stablecoin is dependent on the XRP ledger. We have the automated market maker, which launched in March of this year. As many of you are aware, there was some drama surrounding the launch, but it's working very nicely now that the lending protocol has been released. We'll talk about that in more detail, but that's another example of that kind of lending that would be highly regulated. It would be lending for commercial real estate, but it will be tokenized on the back end, so it will enable a decentralized identity within the YOY ecosystem. It will be really bad for all parties involved if each project needs to provide its own identification infrastructure. Oracles are essential for things like tokenized collateral, stablecoins, and over-collateral, where you need to know the price. The third quarter will see the proposal of multi-purpose tokens, which will close a gap in the way assets are represented on the exchange. I'll go into more detail about that. Additionally, the EVM sidechain multi-purpose tokens on the XRP ledger will be introduced in Q3, which is quickly approaching. Finally, we have this, the real USD, which is what Ripple finally announced. It is a stablecoin with a 1:1 USD backing. So it is clear that they have cleared regulatory requirements and know they won't have any problems with it going forward. This brings us to what all of these central banks are doing, particularly the test run and rollout, and then we look at the bigger picture, with Ripple currently sitting on the Fed board for instant payments. The big question is, will stablecoins be used as a bridge for money leaving the US? Tangelo knows a little bit about this. They also stated that the real USD stablecoin will arrive before the end of this year, which is 6 months away. All of this is leading up to the year 2025, which is when XRP will make that completely insane move. In the meantime, Ripple's future stablecoin is beneficial for XRP, and it can exist on the XRP ledger without XRP. Pardon me, without XRP, people will have different demands, needs, and use cases, and XRP has a special place on the XRP ledger as a result of pathfinding, which always seeks XRP liquidity first. XRP will always have a preferred position as a bridge asset on the market since auto-bridging forces trade to automatically look at its liquidity when they don't automatically look at any other liquidity. The stablecoin ecosystem and XRP ledger won't change. Instead, they will make more use cases possible. There will be twice as many use cases. Look at this SWIFT and all the different currencies connecting to it, and he's thinking this thing is going to run on the XRPL. He says we're probably going to have the real USD. This is how crazy bullish the stablecoin market is. They're predicting anywhere from 3 to 4 trillion by the next bull cycle, and you know when this one ends, it's only going to be about 3 years away, folks. Try to put this out. The genuine pound and euro, the real Hong Kong dollar, the Australian dollar, and the Singaporean dollar are all running on the XRP ledger, and they are all one-to-one. Do you see the network of networks that is being created here? Take a look at this little hint. Every stablecoin that Ripple releases for a given country will be partnered with a major bank of that country to hold the reserve backing. If you guessed Handels Bank of China, you guessed correctly. Then he went on to discuss the state of the Bank of America, saying that it appears that we will finally receive an announcement about the Bank of America. This time, however, keep in mind that a major bank will be holding the actual US dollars. The announcement from 2012 looks pretty good, right? You may recall that when this was leaked, Ripple actually asked Alex Kopp to remove the post because they weren't ready to make the announcement just yet. The bigger picture is starting to come together, so let's get this real, live USD on. We connected all the dots with a video from Burr stating that Ripple had back in 2018 and 2019. I think the time frame was 2018 and 2019, that Ripple had built 80% of the banks in India already partnered with Ripple. And to top it all off, who's the largest bank in India, folks? I did so much coverage on India back in 2017, it was crazy the amount of coverage I did on India. The largest bank in India, HDFC, joined Ripple's payment network back in 2020. Since 2019, they have been Ripple's partners. BRICS, you can see what's going on. With all the new countries joining and the US dollar disappearing, it appears that the rupee will actually end up running on the XRP ledger, as we've been predicting for quite some time. That's why Ripple has an office there. People, it's coming together. That's why Ripple recruited someone to oversee the Indian central bank's digital currency, and that's also why Ripple already has 80% of those banks on RippleNet.